Hello everyone, it's Non-Scene News here, and today we've got some breaking news coming again from North Korea. So Putin has officially now left North Korea, and we've got some stuff to cover over this North Korean deals. So I'm just going to start off with what Kim Jong-un said today. He said, "The friendship between the DPRK and Russia inspires true deep emotions within me. And Moscow and Pyongyang will continue to oppose the West's practice of sanctions and strangulation." That was stated by Putin. Kim Jong-un calls Russia the most honest friend and comrade, and Putin is the dearest friend of the Korean people. Putin also calls for the lift of the UN sanctions on North Korea, and Putin actually invited Kim to Moscow. So these are big news. So especially the invitation to Moscow. So if Kim has been invited to Moscow, then things are definitely getting real between Russia and North Korea. But again, I wouldn't call them allies yet. Um, but I would not be surprised now if in a couple of weeks, we start seeing some shipments between the North Korean Russian border in the Russia's far east. I'm pretty sure there's like a bridge somewhere. Yeah, this is like the only bridge, I believe. So big things are probably going to happen here. So in the next coming weeks, I would not be surprised if we start seeing shipments full of artillery shells. In return, maybe Russia giving some technology, food, just basic needs that countries need. So very, very interesting. They also talked about security pacts and like a defense treaty to stop people, bullying Russia or North Korea. So that was quite interesting. Moscow and Pyongyang also agreed to develop relations in the field of space and of atom AI. The Russian Federation and the DPRK also strives to increase the volume of trade to create favorable conditions for economic cooperation. So these are huge news. So they're basically North Korea and Russia are going to be trading allies, and North Korea, as we all know, is a very undeveloped country. If we could either see it in space, if we look here and we look at North Korea's roads and especially just infrastructure, if we see here they only have like a couple of roads, not the best housings. If you see here, oh, they're not bad, but not the best housings compared to South Korea. If you see this, so no, I wouldn't be surprised if Russian workers, maybe Russia start developing North Korea, because North Korea can become a superpower. Well, not a superpower, but a formidable force. So Russia is probably gonna invest a lot in North Korea, and North Korea will do the same in Russia. So very interesting. And I just want you guys to hear this quick video that this man said on this video. So this is Ian, the Deputy of Chief of the Staff of G2 for the US Army Training and Doctrine Command. So just have a listen what this guy has to say.
Putin is in Pyongyang right now, for example, and so we see them working together more. We see them moving in a series of more transactional relationships, yes, but sort of with the tacit understanding that it's in opposition to the United States. And my concern is that it eventually transitions to something greater than transactional. I don't know if we're ready to say allies. That makes me really uncomfortable, but there's definitely something more than a transactional relationship. Maybe it's somewhere just beyond transactional and almost a partner, which is problematic for us, because again, each of those actors has a significant impact within the region where they're located. But
so very, very interesting that man had to say he said what I said. We wouldn't call Russia and North Korea allies yet, but it is probably heading in that direction, and it should really, really frighten the West, I'd say. But more importantly, Putin has left North Korea and now is headed to Vietnam, the capital of Vietnam. So Putin has visited Vietnam, and he is also welcomed with open arms in Vietnam as too. So we can see here his plane landing, and we can see that a lot of people have gathered around the streets waving Russian and Vietnamese flags. You see the two presidents arriving in Hanoi. So if you see Putin and the President Lam, so this is big news, very big news indeed. And I don't expect the same. You know, I don't think the Vietnam obviously the Vietnam visit is not going to be about military, unlike the North Korean visit is about military and economic. Vietnam is probably just going to be economic. As I said, I will say this all the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if Russia does a pipeline between Mongolia, China to these East Asian countries, these big developing countries, to so these countries can buy cheap Russian gas instead of buying it anywhere else from, like, I don't know, Australia or something. So very, very big news, and because this is just happening now, I don't have the absolute documents that have came out from this meeting yet, so I'll keep you updated on that. And we're just going to go to Taiwan really quickly. We've got some pretty big news from Taiwan. The US has approved a 360 million US dollar arms sale to Taiwan for missiles and drones. The US State Department has approved the possible sale of drones and missiles for an estimated US 360 million to Taiwan, the Pentagon Defense Security Corporation Agency said. And talking about this region, we also got news that apparently footage has appeared today that clashes between the Chinese Coast Guard and the Filipino sailors in disputed waters of the South China Sea has arisen again. So if you can see here, the Chinese always resort to like splashing water on the fishermen and stuff. So very, very interesting news. So clashes in the South China Sea, and I just want to push on what I said about yesterday about Russia, China being pushed into Russian arms because the Stoltenberg, the head of NATO, said that China cannot play the two game. It can't play two cards, so it can't help Russia and trade with NATO. So now NATO has apparently already prepared sanctions against Russia, and now this, as I literally said yesterday, I said Russia, uh, sorry, China is literally being pushed into Russian arms. So if you see this document here, it says the West is pushing China into arms of Russia. So this goes on about how the West is trying to press against China, and especially with sanctions. So I expect in the next coming months that the Chinese and Russian trade is going to become again like an all-time high, which it already is right now, but like even higher point where it is now. So very, very, very interesting. And we got some news from Hezbollah and that's not there. Hezbollah and Israel. Apparently, Hezbollah has warned Cyprus that if the island's territory were used to attack Lebanon, Cyprus would become a party to the war and subject to Hezbollah's missile attacks. Hezbollah has missiles that can reach Cyprus. So, has the Hezbollah Lebanon has threatened Cyprus because if you guys remember the Iranian missile strikes that hit, I don't think I was reporting back then, but the Iranians uh, missile striked places in Israel, and and British and American jets were used in Cyprus um, to shoot some of these missiles down. So if Israel starts using Cyprus airfields, um, they're going to be subject to Hezbollah and Lebanon missiles. So very interesting. We've got updates on that ship that happened yesterday. That apparently the Houthis have made a kamikaze boat that has apparently it works, but there's a ship. If you can see here, the the kamikaze boat goes into the boat, and a huge explosion happens, and huge. I think I don't know if that ship actually sank, but more escalation into the Sea of Aden and the Red Sea. Got news from Kiev as normal. Apparently, Ukraine won't have electricity for another day. Yesterday, they didn't have electricity for the whole day, so citizens around Ukraine had to rely on their generators. So it's big news that Ukraine won't have the electricity up and another day. So they're probably saving their resources and stuff. They probably really needed this 2 day break, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's off for another day. So, very interesting. Last news coming from Georgia. Apparently, public LGBT actions will be banned in Georgia, and gender reassessment operations will become a criminal offence, the authorities of Georgia stated. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. I am Non-Scene News. I will try and provide you the best non-scene news daily that the Western medias and other medias do not show you. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.